Let's be honest for a moment. We all carry those big dreams. Those ambitions that light a fire deep inside us. The visions of what our lives could be, success, freedom, impact, are so vivid in our minds. But somehow, despite all that passion, many of us feel stuck, like there's an invisible barrier blocking our way. Have you ever felt that? Like no matter how hard you try, something keeps holding you back? Maybe it's self-doubt whispering in the background, convincing you that you're not enough. Or perhaps it's a lack of focus. That restless energy pulling you in a dozen directions at once. And then, there's the never-ending flood of distractions life throws at us daily, the constant noise. The endless notifications. The pressures that never seem to let up. It's exhausting, isn't it? Like swimming against a relentless current that threatens to sweep you away. But here's the question no one asks enough. What if the biggest battle you face isn't outside, but deep within your own mind? What if the true obstacle isn't the chaos around you, but the thoughts, fears, and habits inside your head? Today, we're going to dive deeper than ever before. We're unlocking the hidden power within your mind, a power inspired by ancient wisdom and strengthened by modern psychology. We're talking about Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided some of history's greatest minds through adversity, combined with breakthrough insights into how your brain can literally rewire itself to become stronger, more resilient, and more focused than ever. This isn't just theory or abstract philosophy. I'm here to walk you through practical steps, actionable habits that can transform not just your thinking but your entire way of living. Imagine rewiring your brain to break free from limiting beliefs, to focus fiercely on what matters, and to navigate life with calm clarity, no matter what storms arise. If this resonates with you, if you feel a spark of curiosity or hope, I'd ask you for a simple favor: hit that subscribe button right now. It's free, and it means the world to me and to this growing community. Plus, make sure you stay all the way to the end of this video, because each step we'll explore builds on the last. You won't want to miss the transformation that happens when you apply these age-old strategies to the modern challenges we all face. So let's embark on this journey together, shall we? Let's discover just how far your mind can take you once you shed those self-imposed limits. Ready? Let's get started. There was a time in my life when I felt completely stuck. Every day felt like trudging through thick, heavy mud, slow, frustrating, and draining. My dreams hovered just beyond my grasp, slipping through my fingers like fine grains of sand. I was overwhelmed by doubt, constantly questioning if I had what it truly took to reach my goals, to leave a mark on the world. Sound familiar? That gnawing fear of not being good enough, of never reaching the heights you know you're capable of. It's a feeling many of us know all too well. But then something changed for me. I stumbled upon the fascinating concept of neuroplasticity. It might sound like a complicated scientific term, but in reality, it's nothing short of miraculous. Neuroplasticity is the brain's remarkable ability to change, adapt, and evolve throughout your entire life, not just when you're a child but even as an adult. Every new experience you have, every skill you master, every challenge you face is physically reshaping the structure of your brain. Isn't that incredible? To realize that your potential isn't fixed, that you have the power to rewire your mind, expanding what you're capable of, simply by the choices you make and the actions you take? Now, let's take inspiration from the Stoics, particularly from Marcus Aurelius, a man who faced immense challenges yet remained unshakably strong. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those words carry profound truth. The strength we seek isn't found by trying to control the uncontrollable outside world, but by mastering our own minds. Marcus Aurelius was onto something powerful, wasn't he? As we move forward, we'll explore how to harness this timeless wisdom alongside modern brain science to start rewriting your story, one thought, one action at a time. Building on our journey of unlocking the power within the mind, we come to understand that every moment of learning, every push beyond our comfort zones, serves to strengthen our minds, much like how lifting weights builds our muscles. It's truly incredible to realize that we hold the power to shape our brains. Through our thoughts and actions, we can enhance our consciousness and expand our potential. What a profound and empowering truth this is. Think about it. When was the last time you tried something new or challenging? It might have felt uncomfortable, even frightening, but in that very moment, you were doing more than just stepping outside your comfort zone. You were training your brain to tackle bigger, tougher tasks ahead. So why not embrace this amazing ability? Why not challenge ourselves to think bigger, push harder, and break through the boundaries we've set for ourselves? Each time we do, we're not only getting closer to our dreams, but we're also becoming stronger, more resilient versions of ourselves. It's time for all of us to realize that our potential isn't fixed. With every new experience and every hurdle we overcome, we grow a little more. Our brains adapt, and our capabilities expand. Let me share a moment when I deeply realized how much my own beliefs had been holding me back. I was sitting at my desk, staring at a project I believed was beyond my skills. Every time I tried to start, a voice whispered in my head, "You can't do this. You're not smart enough." It was suffocating, feeling trapped by my own thoughts. Can you relate to that? That nagging doubt that creeps in and takes up residence in your mind? One night, while reading about the Stoics, I came across a powerful idea from Epictetus. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That struck a chord deep within me, and I asked myself, what if I reacted differently to my self-doubt? What if I chose not to believe that voice telling me I can't? That was the turning point. I began to challenge those limiting beliefs. Every time the old whisper of, "I can't," crept in, I pushed back with a simple, "Why not?" It wasn't easy, but with each challenge, I grew a little stronger. Continuing the story of challenging our own limits, there were times I felt like I was in a fierce boxing match with my own mind. Every challenge I made to those limiting beliefs brought me one step closer to true freedom. And with each step, the work got a little easier. The project felt a bit less overwhelming. The concept of a growth mindset, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, helped me immensely on this journey. It's all about believing that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This belief fosters a love of learning and resilience, essential ingredients for great accomplishment. That's exactly what the Stoics practiced every day, turning every obstacle into an opportunity to improve. Now let me ask you this. What limiting beliefs are holding you back? Think about that project you believe you can't handle, or that dream you think is too big for you. What if you challenged those beliefs? What if you embraced the possibility that you could grow? That you could be more than you are now? Remember, every belief is a choice, and every choice can be changed. Choose growth, choose to believe in your potential, and watch as new doors open and what once seemed impossible begins to unfold before your eyes. Have you ever sat down to work, buzzing with energy, only to find hours later that you've barely scratched the surface of what you intended to do? I've been there more times than I care to admit. My mind used to wander aimlessly, jumping from thought to thought like a wild monkey. It was frustrating, especially when I had important goals that needed my full attention. I remember one evening when I was reading Seneca. He spoke about the shortness of life and how we must not waste it on mindless pursuits. That hit me hard. I realized I was letting my precious time slip through my fingers because I couldn't focus. That's when I decided to take control of my mind, not just to improve my productivity but to honor the time I have. I started experimenting with different techniques to enhance my focus and memory. I tried everything from meditation to brain games and tweaking my diet. Slowly but surely, I started noticing changes. It was like my brain was a lens that had finally been adjusted to the right focus. But here's the critical part. it wasn't just about trying to control my wandering mind. It was about understanding and working with it. Like the Stoics, I learned the value of self-awareness in mastering one's own mind. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So I nurtured my thoughts, fed them positive energy, building on the story of mastering the mind and nurturing positive thoughts. I gradually noticed the changes beginning to stick. With focused, positive energy, these improvements became not just temporary but a habit, a strength within me. Now, imagine this. What if you could harness the full potential of your brain? Picture the clarity of thought and the achievements that could come from such focus. This isn't just a pipe dream. It starts with believing you can improve and taking small, deliberate actions every day. Whether it's setting aside 10 minutes for meditation or challenging yourself with a new learning task. Every little effort counts. Have you ever considered what you're feeding your mind? Is it information that enriches your thinking? Or is it merely cluttering your thoughts? Remember, your cognitive abilities aren't set in stone. They're more like muscles. And every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen them. Embrace this journey and trust that with each step, you're not only boosting your focus and memory but also paving the way for greater successes. There was a time in my life when I thought being emotionally strong meant keeping a stiff upper lip through everything. I pushed down my feelings, believing this was the path to personal and professional success. But let me tell you, ignoring your emotions doesn't make them go away, it just makes them wait until you're least prepared to handle them. I remember a particularly tough day when everything seemed to go wrong. I tried to shove my frustration and anger aside, but by the end of the day, I snapped over something trivial. It was a wake-up call. I realized that understanding and managing my emotions wasn't a weakness. It was a necessity. Stoicism, which many misunderstand as emotionless, actually offers invaluable guidance here. It teaches us not to suppress our emotions but to understand and channel them productively. Seneca, a renowned Stoic, once wrote about the importance of governing our passions and not becoming slaves to our emotions. From him, I learned that emotional intelligence isn't about control in the sense of suppression. It's about alignment and understanding. It's about recognizing our emotions as signals, not directives. Continuing the story of mastering our emotions and thoughts, let me ask you, how often do we stop to ask ourselves why we feel a certain way? Anger, joy, jealousy, excitement. Each of these emotions carries an important message about our state of mind, our environment, and our needs. If we listen carefully and reflect deeply, we can not only manage our reactions but also better navigate our relationships and decisions. Think back to the last time you felt a strong emotion, whether at work or at home. Instead of reacting immediately, what if you paused and asked yourself, what is really driving this feeling? This kind of questioning can completely transform how we interact with others and deepen our understanding of ourselves. It leads to deeper connections and more satisfying solutions to the challenges we face. Stoicism doesn't ask us to deny our feelings but encourages us to reflect on them with the clarity of a philosopher. Marcus Aurelius himself, despite the immense pressures of leading an empire, often wrote about observing his emotions without becoming entangled in them. This practice, closely aligned with modern approaches to emotional intelligence, empowers us to choose how we respond to our feelings rather than being unconsciously led by them. So let's challenge ourselves to view our emotions through a Stoic lens, not as obstacles but as opportunities to learn and grow. Let's cultivate the habit of pausing, reflecting, and choosing a response that aligns with our values and goals. By mastering our emotions, we're not just becoming better leaders, friends, or family members, we're becoming better, more fulfilled human beings. Life throws curveballs, and sometimes it feels like we're constantly dodging them. I once faced a series of setbacks that felt like a relentless storm. Just when I thought I could catch my breath, another wave would crash down. It was during these tumultuous times that I learned the true meaning of resilience, not just bouncing back but bouncing forward. The ancient Stoics were no strangers to adversity. They didn't just endure hardships, they embraced them as a natural part of life, a concept that transformed my own approach to challenges. Seneca famously said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." This idea hit home for me. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or stress but about growing through it, becoming stronger and more resilient in the process. But how do we develop this resilience? Continuing the journey of building resilience. It all starts with our mindset. When we view stress and obstacles not as barriers but as opportunities for growth, the game changes entirely. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson if we're willing to seek it. Remember that time you thought you wouldn't make it through? But you did, and here you are now, stronger because of it. That's resilience. Practical steps matter too. Simple techniques like breathwork and mindfulness can ground us in moments of high stress. On a particularly stressful day, I took a moment to breathe deeply, focusing solely on the air moving in and out. It was a brief pause, a quick reset, yet it brought clarity and calm that helped me tackle the issue head-on. Then, there's the art of letting go. Stoicism teaches the value of focusing only on what's within our control. We waste so much energy stressing over outcomes often beyond our reach. Learning to distinguish between what we can change and what we must accept is crucial to building emotional and mental strength. So next time you find yourself in the middle of a storm, pause, breathe, reflect on what you can control, and let go of what you cannot. Embrace the challenge, for it is an opportunity to forge your resilience. With each challenge overcome, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, preparing yourself for whatever comes next. Did you know that what you eat and how much you sleep can literally reshape your brain? There was a time when I didn't pay much attention to this. I used to fuel my long days with coffee and whatever was handy, often skipping meals or choosing fast food for convenience. Sleep was secondary, something I thought I could catch up on over the weekend. But then I hit a wall. My productivity plummeted, my creativity dried up, and I couldn't focus. I felt mentally sluggish and emotionally a wreck. It was a wake-up call. Quite literally, I started delving into how nutrition and sleep affect brain function, and what I found was eye-opening. Our brains are like high-performance vehicles. They need the right fuel to run efficiently and effectively. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and whole foods aren't just good for the body. They're critical for cognitive function, helping to enhance memory and focus. Continuing from our exploration of brain health and resilience, I realized how much Marcus Aurelius emphasized self-discipline and control, a mastery that includes what we consume and how we rest. He understood that the body and mind are intrinsically connected, and neglecting one means neglecting both. With this understanding, I revamped my diet to include brain-boosting foods like berries, nuts, fish, and plenty of greens. I also set a strict bedtime schedule to ensure I got the rest I needed. But let me ask you, have you ever really considered how what you eat affects how you think? Or noticed how a poor night's sleep can derail your entire day? It's not just about feeling good physically, it's about optimizing our brain's potential. When we provide our brains with the right nutrients and enough rest, we can enhance our cognitive abilities, improve decision-making, and maintain our mental health. Now, I challenge you to reflect on your own habits. How might your diet and sleep be influencing your mental clarity and overall brain health? Implementing small changes can have profound effects. Start simple. Swap out that mid-afternoon snack for something rich in antioxidants. Or establish a nightly routine that helps you wind down and get more quality sleep. Have you ever pictured yourself achieving your greatest dreams? Feeling the exhilaration of crossing the finish line, or the pride of nailing that dream job interview? This isn't just daydreaming, it's a powerful tool for success. Let me share how visualization and affirmations changed not just my outlook but my outcomes. There was a phase in my life when I felt consistently beaten down by failures. No matter how hard I tried, things didn't seem to go my way. Then I stumbled upon the power of visualization and affirmations. At first, it felt a bit foolish, sitting there with eyes closed, picturing myself succeeding. But as I practiced, something shifted. I began to feel more confident, more in control of my destiny. It was as if I was training my brain to expect success, not fear failure. The Stoics too understood the power of the mind. They believed in premeditating future challenges to mentally prepare for any outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote about imagining every possible setback, not to worry himself sick but to face life prepared. Building on the story of the power of the mind and visualization, I realized that my visualization was similar to mentally preparing myself to seize success when the opportunity arrived, because I had already lived it in my mind. Then there are affirmations, those positive, powerful statements that can redefine our reality. I started each day by affirming my capabilities. I am capable, competent, and ready to face whatever comes. It might sound simple, but these words became my armor against the arrows of doubt and negativity. So why am I sharing this with you? Because I believe that if you start visualizing your success and affirming your strengths, you can transform the energy you bring into any room, whether you're applying for a job, starting a new project, or entering a tough negotiation. These tools prepare your subconscious for success, making it a part of who you are, not just what you do. So I challenge you to harness the power of your own mind each morning. Take a moment to visualize one goal as if you've already achieved it. Feel it deeply, then anchor that vision with a strong, positive affirmation about your ability to make it happen. Repeat this daily. It's not magic, it's mindset. And as you reshape your mindset, you'll start to see the world not just as it is but as it could be, with you at your best. At the center of it, remember, in the words of Seneca, life is what our thoughts make it. Let's make it phenomenal. Ever felt like you're just churning out the same ideas, stuck in a creative rut you can't seem to escape? I've been there more times than I'd like to admit. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, seeing where you need to go but not finding the path to get there. But creativity isn't just a spontaneous burst of inspiration. It's a skill that can be cultivated, a muscle that can be strengthened. I remember one particularly dry spell when my ideas felt stale and nothing seemed to spark that creative flair. It was then I turned to the Stoics for guidance, particularly the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who believed in the power of the mind to transform. He wrote about how our perceptions could shape our realities. Inspired by this, I began to challenge my routine to break the mental patterns that were keeping me boxed in. One strategy that truly transformed my approach was setting aside dedicated time each day. Continuing the story of shifting mindset and nurturing creativity, I realized that sometimes simply letting my mind wander without limits sparked the most brilliant ideas. I started taking walks without my phone, carrying just a small notepad in my pocket. These walks became my most fruitful periods, moments when ideas seemed to come from nowhere. It was during these quiet moments that my mind began to draw connections it never had before, finding new solutions to old problems. I also embraced the Stoic practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities. Each challenge in a project became a chance to innovate rather than a setback. This mindset shift didn't just help me overcome hurdles, it changed the way I approached my work from the ground up. Suddenly, I was more willing to take risks and experiment with ideas I would have previously dismissed. Now, let's talk about you. Think about the last time you faced a creative block. Instead of letting frustration take over, what if you viewed that block as a sign that it's time to shift your approach? Change your scenery, engage in a new activity, or collaborate with someone who challenges your thought process. Remember, creativity thrives on fresh input and perspectives. And here's a little secret. the more you exercise your creative muscles, the stronger they become. Start small. Today, challenge yourself to think of 3 new uses for an everyday object in your home, or 3 new topics you've never explored before in your work. It's not just about finding immediate solutions, it's about developing a mindset that eagerly looks for innovation. Have you ever faced a challenge so daunting that it seemed easier to just give up rather than push through? I have, more times than I care to count. But through those tough moments, I discovered an invaluable truth. Our true strength isn't shown by how we triumph, but how we transform challenges into opportunities for growth. This realization didn't come easily. It was born from many failures and setbacks, each one a lesson in disguise. Let's talk about mental flexibility for a moment. This isn't just about bending without breaking. It's about learning to dance in the rain while the storm rages. Finding new rhythms and steps amid the chaos. I learned this the hard way during a particularly tough year. There were times when everything seemed to be against me, as if all that could go wrong actually did. Just when I thought I couldn't handle any more, life proved me wrong. It was during this storm that I turned to the wisdom of the Stoics and found a surprising source of strength. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." These words became my mantra. I started to see each setback not as a roadblock but as a stepping stone, each one a chance to build a stronger, more resilient version of myself. This shift in perspective was transformative. It didn't make the problems disappear, but it changed how I approached them. Instead of feeling defeated, I felt energized, motivated to find solutions and adapt in ways I hadn't before. Now, think about your own life. When was the last time you faced a situation that felt insurmountable? How did you react? Imagine if, instead of resisting change, you embraced it, using it as a catalyst to develop your mental agility. By practicing this approach, you can build not just resilience but a kind of proactive strength that anticipates and adapts to challenges before they even arise. Building this kind of strength and flexibility requires intentional practice. It's like training for a marathon. You wouldn't run 26 miles right off the bat. You'd start small, gradually increasing your stamina over time. Similarly, you can start building mental strength by challenging yourself daily in small ways. Take a different route to work. Try a new recipe, or tackle a problem from a different angle. Each new experience builds your mental repertoire just as each run builds endurance. Have you ever reached a moment in your life where you felt you had achieved enough, learned enough, and could finally rest on your laurels? I found myself at such a crossroads after reaching what I thought was the peak of my career. But rather than feeling fulfilled, I felt a surprising emptiness, a sense that there was more out there just beyond my grasp. That's when I stumbled upon a powerful Stoic principle, the commitment to lifelong learning and constant self-improvement. Seneca, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." These words resonated deeply with me, sparking the realization that learning isn't a destination but an endless journey. Every skill mastered, every book read, and every new person met offers insights that not only enrich our knowledge but also deepen our understanding of the world and our place within it. This journey of continuous learning isn't just about accumulating knowledge. It's about striving for peak performance in all areas of life. It's about pushing yourself beyond conventional limits and transforming everyday challenges into opportunities for growth. This pursuit has taught me that peak performance is not a static achievement but a dynamic process of pushing the boundaries of what I once thought was possible. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about your own life. Are there areas where you could push a little harder, reach a little further, or learn something new? The beauty of this journey is that it's uniquely yours. It might mean taking a course that scares you, stepping into a new role that tests your abilities, or simply picking up a new hobby that challenges your way of thinking. The Stoics emphasize the value of self-discipline and rigorous self-examination as tools for personal growth. They believe that the more we challenge ourselves, the more we can grow in wisdom and character. By adopting this mindset, we not only improve ourselves but also increase our capacity to contribute positively to the world around us. So I challenge you to make a commitment today, not to a specific goal or a finite achievement but to the process of lifelong learning. Embrace the idea that every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to refine your skills, and to enhance your understanding, whether through reading, dialogue, or hands-on experience. Let each day add a layer to your foundation of knowledge and performance. Remember, in this ever-evolving world, the only true constant is change. By committing to lifelong learning and seeking peak performance, you're not just adapting to change, you're anticipating it, embracing it, and using it as a tool for personal and professional success. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The obstacle is the way." Let each challenge be a stepping stone, not just toward achieving your goals but toward moving forward more powerfully on your journey of growth. Continuing the journey of constant self-development and learning. The ultimate goal is not just to achieve something temporary, but to become the very best version of yourself. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey at Stoic Glow. Remember that the path to wisdom and strength is built on the foundation of continuous learning and relentless self-improvement. Keep persevering, keep growing, and together we will continue unlocking the true potential within each of us. Don't forget to take some time to watch one of the recommended videos on your screen to dive deeper into the world of Stoicism and personal growth. Your interaction and engagement are the lifeblood that helps this community thrive and reach further. I sincerely thank you for being an important part of this journey. Until we meet again, keep your curiosity, your steadfastness, and the spirit of a true Stoic alive.